That's adorable. I think I've made my thoughts about the world building in this show fairly clear by now, so I'll keep this brief. We know jack shit about Scorpia's people. And in this episode, where Scorpia goes into the old throne room and talks to Emily about her grandfather, he was the one who made the deal with Hordak, doesn't really give us anything. Paying attention, it becomes clear Hordak landed in the Fright Zone, used his advanced tech to roll over the kingdom, and apparently made some kind of deal with the reigning monarch that saw Scorpia handed over, and we get absolutely nothing on what happened to the rest of the Scorpion people, or even Scorpia's own mothers. Okay, it isn't strictly something we need to know for the story itself to progress properly, but come on. They just tease us with some backstory and imagery, and then drop it for something else. It's the same grievances I have with how they're handling Adora and her desire for answers. They set up the situation and make it seem as if we're getting one thing and go a bit far with it, but then immediately drop it and all its intrigue to do something else entirely. It gets annoying after they've done it so many times. Anyway, this is the episode where Catra really throws away what little hope anyone could have had for any sort of redemption. You know, until season 5, that is.
Good morning, world. Force Captain Scorpia reporting for duty.
Scorpia's little wake-up routine is adorable to watch, just like everything else she does.
Feed Emily, although I'm still not sure that you eat. Check.
But then there's also this part where she picks up the jacket Catra gave her from the Crimson Ways, claiming that it's their quote-unquote thing, as if Catra still cares about that time anymore.
I know, she said we're not friends anymore, but she didn't mean it.
This is Scorpia still thinking about the Catras he saw back in those days, and perhaps she thinks if she just continues to be kind and loyal to Catra, then eventually everything will just turn out a-okay.
Yep, today will be a great day.
With her even making tea for Catra thinking it'll help her.
I'm bringing her a cup of my famous soothing tea.
She even calls it a pick-me-up, and oh my gosh, how do they make everything Scorpia does so adorable? Yet even when you see these two interact once more, I don't think Catra was as rude to Scorpia in any previous season.
I didn't ask for your opinion. I have a job for you. I need you to find Entrapped's recordings.
Really helps to drive forward her descent into a villain. Even Emily flinches and runs away at the mere sight of Catra.
You want Entrapped's recordings? Does this mean—
It means Hordak needs them.
The surprise in her expression and the hope in Scorpia's voice as she wonders if, hey, maybe Catra has changed her mind and wants Entrapped back, really encapsulates that naivety Scorpia has about Catra that's about to be shattered this episode. Even after the last few episodes where Catra was incredibly rude and dismissive of Scorpia, Scorpia's still trying to be nice and supportive towards her.
I'm so close. If I can pull this off, everything will have been worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be, Catra. I'm sure it will.
Yes, I'll find them. I promise. Did you want any of the tea?
You know, when I first watched this episode, I hope against all odds Scorpia would recognize what Catra had become now, then just leave before her heart gets crushed. A vain one, yes, I know. It's something I was dreading would happen because they succeeded in worming Scorpia into my heart and making me care so much about this big Scorpion gal. Throughout this whole episode, Scorpia's view of her bestie gets strained until broken.
I'll find those recordings, she'll do her mission, and then she can relax and things will go back to normal.
And she even gets this doubt first from Lonnie, one of the people we saw in the last episode, who expressed the most clarity about what the Horde is since Catra. Scorpia goes in to help them with moving crates, because of course she does, it's Scorpia here, and mentions how Catra is given this oh-so-special secret mission.
Good luck with that. I'm sure Catra will be super grateful.
Leading into Lonnie pointing out that their guys are getting wrecked by the Alliance, yet Catra ain't doing anything about that. She's just letting it happen because it suits her. And Catra doesn't care about anyone and isn't going to be appreciative of what Scorpia's doing here.
No, you're wrong. Catra is under a lot of pressure.
This part is why I think the last episode was trying to paint the Horde as more than just faceless generic bad guys. Because if you just saw them as stormtroopers, this scene wouldn't really carry the weight the writers wanted it to.
When are you gonna wake up?
Well, that is what Scorpia starts doing here. Anyway, for the other half of this episode, Glimmer is the queen of Brightmoon and is obviously a VIP, yet throughout this attack on a Horde outpost, Adora and Bo get a little too protective, butting in at every turn as if Glimmer isn't more than capable of handling a few Horde soldiers on her own. The only time I say she was in any real danger was when she pulled a Horde trooper away. She tested a spell, but it failed to work, so Adora had to step in.
You are the queen. I can't let anything happen to you.
They're having a problem because Glimmer doesn't need to be treated as if she's one step away from getting killed here. We all know what she's capable of. Plus, Adora still has her reservations about Glim and Weaver's new association.
Besides, whatever dark magic Shadow Weaver taught you obviously didn't seem to be doing the job.
both of which grates on Glimmer's nerves. Remember how in Season 1 Glimmer had this gripe with Angela on how she seemed to be holding her back too much?
One chance to prove that I can do this, but she acts like I can't do anything because I'm just a princess.
Those same feelings come back here because Bo and Adora are just being a little bit too protective of her. Then we just have Double Trouble here to spread those cracks in their friendship even further.
She-ra amazing in that battle? You were so lucky she saved you before that horde soldier reached you.
I guess being a child and viewed as a simp just makes your word look as if you just lack a filter.
She didn't save me. I was doing a thing.
Case in point, this line.
And the way you let Adora give you orders, even though you're the queen,
With just a few words, DT got Glimmer even more frustrated at Adora for something the Blonde's been doing since the three of them became a team. I appreciate that it's not DT just creating these issues out of the blue, but rather forming naturally because of the behavior of the characters towards one another, with Double Trouble mostly just taking advantage of the turmoil they've been causing to themselves. The next outpost they hit, Bo remarks how it's odd there's few guards around, and Adora tries to take charge because that's always what she's done before.
So let's go in nice and slow. Here's what we're gonna do. Glimmer!
And Glim, wanting to feel in charge, just lead Warren Jenkins in, not considering a trap that might have been laid here. It looks reckless from Adora and Bo's perspective too.
You can't just rush in a battle on your own like that. You're the queen. You're too valuable.
Even if she can just take all these guys, no problem.
Oh, am I the queen? Because it seems like you're the one giving all these orders.
Like I said, Double Trouble might have exacerbated things between them, but isn't the direct cause of it. Glimmer jumping into the fight isn't just some random thing. She does it plenty of times before.
What's your plan? More dark magic?
It's not dark magic. And I don't know.
But now it seems like it suddenly is a problem to Adora, which devolves into these two just having this big argument where they air out their own grievances with each other. Mid-battle, no less.
See if it helps me do what needs to be done.
And here's the combination of what we saw back in Ep 4, where Glimmer had started on this Machiavellian ends justify the means philosophy.
Stop treating me like I'm weak and let me make my own decisions. We're just looking out for you.
Man, it really feels like lack of communication is always the primary cause of problems when Glimmer is involved.
Hey, what's going on with you two?
Nothing.
Thankfully for them, they have the most arced out and mature character here.
Okay, we're talking this out. Adora, is there something you need to say to Glimmer?
Bo, ever the auditor in fights, is able to intervene well.
Come on, you can do it. Communication is the key to a good friendship.
And gets them to air their grievances with Adora expressing her concern about trusting the woman who's caused them a lot of grief. While Glimmer says she doesn't understand why Adora can't have faith that what she's doing is to protect everyone, including her. The argument ends with Glimmer asking if Adora could just trust her to know what she's doing and won't fall for any of Shadow Weaver's tricks.
There you go. That's how the best friend squad does it.
Once more, it seems proper communication between people wins the day.
Help!
She-ra!
If not for Double Trouble, who needs them at each other's throats.
Put me down!
I find it so amusing how confused he sounds.
And work with me here.
Drop your weapons, or the girl gets it.
I suppose this could also be another way to humanize Horde soldiers in preparation for what Glimmer does next, separating them from fluttering with magic and teleporting one away to, well...
I'm still getting the hang of it. It's a truth spell if it works, but if it fails, it can be extremely painful.
Okay, wow, just so we're clear on this part, Glimmer is literally threatening to torture a man for intel, and Adora and Bo is like, WTF, Glimmer?
You took things way too far.
I wasn't going to actually hurt him.
Intending to do it or not, that is still taking things a bit too far from how they usually do things. I think that with becoming queen and spending time with Weaver has led to Glimmer thinking it's okay to do stuff like this to the enemy. Glimmer can get violent at times, and here it seems like it's manifesting in a worrying way.
The Kingdom of Snow's supply line is open. We're done here.
Fine by me.
And yet, she still fails to understand why Adora and Bo would feel concerned about this. Scorpia, on the other side of the world, or wherever the hell the Fright Zone is located at.
Super Pal Trio. Man, those were good times, huh?
There was no easy way for Scorpia to realize how little Catcher cares about anyone else right now. Still, Scorpia, she starts mimicking Entrappa, and it's easily one of the funniest things I've seen her do.
First one's tech. Runestones.
I shouldn't be putting this next part off. Anyone who's watching this episode knows what's going to happen. Scorpia learns that Entrapta installed a recorder into Emily and used her to record all the data Catcher needed to get, which both gives Scorpia a moment to reminisce about Entrapta and realize she's in a dilemma. The recordings cannot be obtained without taking apart Emily, yet she also wants to help Catra. Yet if Catra learns where the recordings are, Scorpia is so sure she'll treat Emily well when her goal is literally just a metal plating away.
She's kind of said the words scrap metal and Emily together a lot.
I believe that Scorpia still thinks about the Catra she saw in the Crimson Waste. She thinks back to that person and thinks that all her Wildcat needs is for someone to be there for her, support her in every endeavor, and be someone to lean on whenever she has to.
That's what Scorpions do best. Brave, loyal, great hugs.
Even when confronted with the reality of what Catra is now, Scorpia still tries to make excuses.
She was threatened. She didn't mean it. But be silent.
Still believing that they're friends and that Catra will understand, yet judging by her expression and later actions, doubt had crept in deep. Later, she presents fake chip from Emily, and seeing it damaged and unusable, Catra just flips out.
I asked you to do one thing, one simple thing, and you completely ruined it.
Bitch.
What did I expect? I mean, how can you possibly be this useless?
Scorpia doesn't say anything, makes no more excuses, or even shies away like before. She just stares blankly at her and says,
"You're a bad friend."
And Catra loses some of her composure as if she was slapped in the face, not expecting this change in how they interact, and is left standing there a bit dumbfounded while Scorpia leaves. Honestly, the way they wrote that was better than any angry accusatory words that could have come out of Scorpia's mouth. It's short, it's quick, but it says everything it needs to. It wasn't an accusation. It was a statement of fact. The moment where Scorpia realized that this isn't her Wildcat, that any friendship that might have brewed between them had ended a while ago. And with that in mind, Scorpia packs her bags and ditches the Fright Zone with Emily, because she still has one true friend out there and she'll be damned before she fails her now. And this moment is more proof of what I said about this season, mostly being about making you hate Catra, and man, did it burn hotter for me after that exchange. So that was episode 6 for season 4 of Overanalyzing She-ra. If you like this video and want to see more, hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button and bell to get notifications about the next episode. I'll try to update this series every Thursday, so please share with other fans. And also check out my channel for my video essays, music analysis, and complex character series. You might find them enjoyable as well.